Good evening. We have spoken about Finland, a country full of countries who has set a highest target, to containing the carbon and be a carbon neutral by 2035. That's we all know about Finland. Uh, but there's other aspect of Finland we're going to talk about here. Finland has one of the most advanced technology ecosystem working there. To the point that Finland is one of the few countries who has been successful in collaborating in assimilating supercomputer and the quantum computer. Such is a diverse range of Finland, a country in the Nordic. And we're going to talk about today someone who has come all the way from Finland to discuss, cooperate, collaborate, and coordinate with India, adding value to these two democracies. We have Mr. Petri Honkonen. He is a Minister of Education, Science and Culture. Welcome, Mr. Petri. And to begin with, you had a talk with your counterpart in India. You came with a big mandate. What did you discuss with the minister? And while I know that Finland has some of the most exciting innovation taking place in science and technology, and as I mentioned, in the quantum computing, in such a high advanced technology, apart from setting the carbon target, So could you start telling me what you discuss with the minister and how you're going to collaborate and cooperate with India in this sphere?
First of all, it has been a very incredible visit to India, and I've met my good colleagues from Indian government, Ministry of Science and Minister of Science and Technology. I've met and also Minister of Education, and then I met in Karnataka, where I visited Bangalore Tech Summit. I met Chief Minister of Karnataka, and the background of my visit was the agreement what our Prime Ministers Narendra Modi and our Prime Minister Mrs. Sanna Marin has agreed. They pointed digital partnership and sustainable partnership as top priorities of the cooperation of our countries, and that has been the umbrella of my visit. And during this trip, we have promoted our partnerships with Indian counterparts, especially in the area of quantum computing and climate change research, which are in Finland in our science policy in a very high level at the moment. And I think that in this way we can really bring two partnerships together. I mean that when we use digital tools in the use of climate data collection and analysis, we can really focus on the most important things when combating against climate change. And this was one of the themes I was also discussing with my dear colleagues. Also, carbon neutrality. Finland has pointed carbon neutrality as our target, and of course we have very deep cooperation in the field of education, in primary education. That was also one important theme we discussed with my colleague, Minister of Education of India.
Minister Petri, you said, you talked with the minister. We understand that the issue of climate change dominates the debate everywhere. And it's a critical aspect to talk about, especially in the context of India also. We see so much of a climate crisis happening here. But a lot of debate happens here is all about the transition which take place. Transition in terms of the how we can shift from the fossil and to the renewable energy aspect, and involves a lot of technology transition. Basically.
Absolutely.
I want to understand from you, as a country which you have seen very closely, and in fact we have been one of the most ambitious country in the planet to set the target of net zero by 2035. What you bring to India in terms of that transition, if I talk about that, and did you discuss something in the minister how you're going to add value or maybe collaborate with India in that transition aspect?
Absolutely. Like I said, we need quantum technology, but also supercomputing when we try to tackle this climate change program, because we need information and we need data. And I think in the key role is of course industry, the emissions of industrial emissions, but also in transportation, those emissions from transportation, but also from household, and to make decisions and actions which are the most which has the most influence. We need more data, and I believe that supercomputing in Finland, we just opened it. I had honor to open the one supercomputer which is the fastest in Europe and third fastest in the whole world. We need data, and in this field of quantum technology, Finnish enterprises and companies and Indian partners, big companies in India, can really cooperate. And this is one theme we discussed during my visit with my colleagues, but also with those businessmen which I met here.
So supercomputer, and then you have been one of the first country to sort of assimilate to the quantum computing.
Yes.
I want to understand how these two, when add, make difference to your climate data or help a country transition. What kind of data you will generate will transform and help a country achieve better technology efficiency, help them transfer and transition energy crisis.
Well, it would be better that scientists answer you properly and more specifically to this question. But the data is needed because as a politician, I know that sometimes we politicians we happen to make decisions which look efficient, but basically are not efficient. So we need data. It is the ground for everything science-based decision making. We need more data to science-based decision making, and that is from a political view, as a politician, what I see that we really need.
But Finland is a country, I understand, you have some of the good technology, space, and research going on. What about the quantum computing, and how did government decide to have a quantum computing ecosystem for the country like Finland? And it's quite amazing to understand, if you could talk about from a government perspective, the research input and the research funding. I'm talking about the whole government policies towards achieving that. What has been the motive behind this?
Well, of course, simply we see this kind of new technology. The role of quantum technology is growing, and it will really grow fast. And we have to try to be, as a small country, we have to try to be the first in the world in that. But it's not only about us in Finland what comes to quantum technology. In this quantum tech, we aim to cooperate with India more and more, and we are actually establishing first quantum computers to India based on joint development.
Okay.
So we are aiming at this kind of hybrid solutions, combining high performance computing with quantum computing by creating integrated operation systems.
Are you talking about the joint cooperation
Yes.
in developing quantum computing in India, or simply transferring data or generating data out of that?
Well, we have this kind of cooperation with India, and we want to go further in that. Overall, when we think quantum technology, it will anyway require international collaboration, and like over the borders, not only over the country's borders, but over academic research and industry, but also public-private borders. And what you earlier asked about our science and our research and development investments, we have aim that we will grow our R&D investments on the level of 4% of GDP in Finland. And so we put public money by the government, and then we hope and we believe that the public money will boost the private investments, also in the field of quantum technology, but also in other fields in industry. What we need to be very progressive and very progressive economy.
Minister Petra, we have had good collaboration in one of the areas also, which is about the telecom. It's a household name in India. What I'm talking about, the Nokia.
Yes.
And India as an emerging economy, is also striving to achieve advanced technologies in 5G and 6G. Of course, we wanted to have a collaboration with a country like yours.
Yes.
A broader technological architecture and system and transparency to achieve that. Did you discuss anything in that direction with the Indian Minister about technological collaboration in terms of 5G and 6G and on what that is all about?
Yes, we actually discussed what you said about Nokia. I must underline that Nokia has in Bangalore R&D center, global R&D center, where is 7,000 experts working in this Nokia center, and there is a startup mentoring program actually established by Nokia in Bangalore, and Nokia and India has very long relationship. Actually, another R&D center what Nokia has is in Oulu, and in Oulu University there is 6G lab and a very high-level 6G development center. And this, what you asked, this 5G and 6G development, well, actually 5G is at the moment in a commercial level.
It's already there in Finland.
It is already there.
Okay.
Especially the Oulu and Oulu University. It was one of the hometowns of Nokia earlier. One of our top technology universities. 5G net is already there in a commercial use and already also in other areas. And I believe that the operators and service providers can collaborate with companies like Nokia to create more 5G available.
It's like a joint mechanism to develop. It's happening a company to company level, or it's happening. It's a government push and policy from the Finland that drives such sort of research collaboration with India, especially in the 5G and 6G. Is there any sort of funding process or research and development involved here? If you could talk about.
Well, there is collaboration between companies, but I believe that of course there is needed some public push, and we have been also discussing about that during my visit. In 6G, of course, talking about Oulu, we have established this kind of Nokia, and also Nokia has established this kind of collaborative schemes with some Indian big companies, key companies like Geo Reliance, which is very well known also in Finland as an Indian key company, and also Wipro, etc. So there is this kind of company business to business cooperation. I believe that there will be seen very good development in future.
Mr. Petri, I also understand you had a very wide range of discussion across the technological spectrum, and one of the things like India and Finland plan to cooperate in sustainable energy technology. It's about generation, conversion, storage, and conservation. About clean technology, bio-based economy. How can Finland add value to India's green transition? If you ask, particular on this aspect, if you have something more focused discussion with the minister this time in India.
Well, in Finland, actually already 85% of all energy, electricity production is actually carbon free, and we are adding more new renewable energy to our grid. And in that field, of course, you have more sun than we have in Finland, and there up north. You have also developed a lot of renewable energy, and and also the resources and the possibility to develop and invest more.
Right.
It's in a very high level, and that has been very remarkable. What I've seen during my visit, but we need also research and technology development more in this sustainable energy production field, but also this climate also in this climate action field. And in many universities in Finland there is very high research in that field, especially in the use of energy in energy storaging, because when we produce more renewable energy, we need to learn and we need to invest on energy storages, and that is, I believe, in the next decade one of the biggest issues and questions: how to storage energy when there is less polluting old energy production and more renewable.
That's a wonderful example, Minister Petri. And there comes, it's again remarkable to know that, in the Nordic, you're leading on some of the very key advanced technology innovation, which is based on artificial intelligence, machine learning, in all domains, basically. How is it unfolding in industry, and if there are greater collaboration, especially in artificial intelligence and such area with India? Did you discuss, and what concrete plan, to have such collaboration with India, especially these field?
Well, we have Finland and India. We have this kind of joint S&T commission, and there we promote collaboration also in these fields, but especially already mentioned it, quantum technology and 5 to 6G, and also in this question of sustainability. But and also this, what you mentioned it, AI, which I believe is also in a great role in this sustainability, in this sustainability perspective. I believe this joint commission is very important when we structurize our industrial and technology cooperation between our countries.
It will lead to more investment in India, especially from the Finnish tech company in the energy sector, renewable energy sector, to coming into India. How do you look at the scenario? If Finnish companies are more interested in coming to India, especially adding value to this particular energy sector?
Well, they are. There is companies like Wärtsilä, Valmet, Fortum, who are already in India actually. And when I visited in Bangalore, the Infosys campus, I learned that many Finnish core companies use Indian services already, and they use Indian experience and knowledge in their companies already, which makes easier our companies, but also smaller companies to come to Indian market and use Indian knowledge. But that is, of course, our aim, that Finnish companies could invest more on India, but also make alliances and make partnerships with Indian companies, also help us in Finland.
Right. Minister Petri, of course, towards into the discussion, it's very critical to ask you that despite having a 2/3 of your part surrounded by the forest, and you're dependent on your forest as your way of economy, you took one of the most ambitious decision and set a target of achieving net zero carbon by 2035. How are you going to achieve that? I mean, what is the cost of transition you're going to find out? How the policy is driving it? Will you talk about some of the initiative you are taking to reach to that point? Are you think you're going to reach that point by 2035?
Yes, we believe that we can reach that. We need modern technology, but we need emission less. Of course, we have to reduce our emissions naturally, but we need modern technology to help us. in that. And of course, at the moment, due to current circumstances, what comes to energy in Europe, we are decreasing our energy consumption. So energy efficiency is in a big role. But what you said about our forestry cluster, which is very important for us and has been during 200 last years, it is a question of sustainability. And we have created a very science-based way and knowledge to take care of our forests. We can use wood on producing saw products, on producing paper, cellulose, and carton with modern packaging materials what are also needed. But we can use forests very sustainable way. In Finland, there is very tight legislation on how we use forests, and we have a very good knowledge on that, and we also want to sell that knowledge to the world, because we need forests, we need more green we need more green how do you say it? Green biomass in this climate challenge to collect carbon dioxide from the air.
Right, and it's really important to ask you. I mean, Europe is discussing about this energy crisis. Since there's a war going on, and it's close to your country between Russia and Ukraine, and it's impacting the energy. Whole debate is based on that. How Finland is coping and going to cope in the winter, and you have the very harsh winter. How will you manage the energy?
Well, we don't anymore bring electricity from Russia, and we have stopped our energy cooperation with Russia. And as a neighbor country, Finland is a neighbor country for Russia, as many other countries like Ukraine is. And well, we believe that we can manage. As I said, we have to be very energy efficient. In 1 year, if we compare this autumn to 1 year back, we have reduced our electricity consumption 15% already this autumn if we compare it to 1 year ago. So we can reduce our energy consumption, but we also need domestic energy more, bioenergy from forests, but also we need to develop more sustainable, renewable energy production like wind, which is there is a massive investment going on in the wind energy in Finland. But I want to also underline what I said earlier about our industry. We believe that this challenge will bring a certain edge to our companies in the global green transition, because we are at the moment, due to current circumstances, we are forced to make this green transition in Finland, but also in other countries in Europe. And we believe that people appreciate and see, like there is companies like SSB who are now developing carbon neutral steel production. So believe that this can be advantage in competition in the global market in future, that our industry is going more and more energy efficient and more carbon neutral.
So here, Minister Petri Honkonen talking about Finland, a country which has indeed in the Nordic has set one of the most ambitious target in containing the climate crisis, and not from that, this Nordic country is leading the climate debate in the world. And thank you, Minister, for speaking with us. This is Manish Kumar Jha and my cameraman Hilal Beed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.